giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is MediaCom Newsleaders.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Kling with MediaCom Newsleaders. Joining us right now is Iowa State Senator Charles Schneider, a Republican from West Des Moines in District 22. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's see. You just wrapped up your second year in the Iowa Senate, so tell us a little bit about, I'm guessing easier than the first year, or you're more familiar with it,
things come at you a little more slowly your second year, kind of like playing sports. The first year you're out there starting, things seem to go by at lightning speed. The second year things come at you a little bit more slowly, so you can enjoy things a little bit more and plan a little bit more as well.
And what do you feel were some of your biggest accomplishments this past session?
Well, one of the biggest things we got done in the legislature this session is the Home Base Iowa initiative. As you probably know, Iowa has a big skilled labor shortage in the state. And we also have a lot of veterans who are going to be coming off of their military obligations and looking for jobs in the private sector. So what this Home Base Iowa bill does is it both helps veterans find work and also helps employers plug work shortages that they have. And it does that by exempting military retirement pay from state income tax, so it makes Iowa a more attractive state. It lets employers have hiring preferences for veterans, and it also lets military veterans' professional skills translate more easily to occupational requirements.
Wow. A great opportunity then for a lot of vets.
Absolutely,
yeah. Well, you were also closely involved in another bill that got a lot of attention involving cannabis oil. Tell us about where things are at with that now and why you voted the way you did.
Sure.
With regard to that.
Right. Well, first of all, just to remind the viewers what cannabis oil is, it's a derivative of the cannabis plant. It has very little THC in it, so someone can't get high from taking it. And it wouldn't have any street value if someone tried to sell it to someone for recreational use because it just doesn't produce a high. So the reason I voted for this bill is because some parents of children with intractable epilepsy were out of options. They had tried FDA-approved medications to treat epilepsy with their kids. Those didn't work, and oftentimes they would cause side effects that required additional medication. They asked us to consider giving them an immunity from prosecution for possessing this cannabis oil specifically to treat intractable epilepsy with a doctor's recommendation. So I thought the appropriate safeguards were in place. I didn't think that we risked legalizing marijuana for recreational use or setting up a system that was so easy for someone to bypass that they could get access to the drug for recreational use. So for those reasons, I was fully supportive of the bill.
Coming up then next session, where do you think this will go next? Because I know there's the struggle now is where do they get the cannabis oil, right?
Right. Well, a lot of them know where they can get it, and what I think we need to focus on right now is just implementing the bill that we just passed. We have an interim study committee established for that purpose, and if the committee feels that there's anything else that needs to be done legally to make it easier for parents to access this oil to treat their children, then we'll take that under consideration.
Right. One other issue that came up was NASCAR sales tax. We have a lot of NASCAR fans in Iowa, so this is an important topic to a lot of folks. So tell us about what the situation was with this.
Sure. Well, there was the legislature passed, and I actually voted against this, but the legislature passed a sales tax rebate for NASCAR, for the Iowa Speedway. And it's nothing against NASCAR, nothing against racing. I graduated from Newton High School, so nothing against Newton. My parents still live there. But at the end of the day, the reason I voted against this particular bill is because it didn't incent NASCAR to do anything that it wasn't already planning to do. It had already bought the track. It had already announced that it was going to make improvements to the track. And this isn't a target industry for Iowa either. So for those reasons, I decided ultimately to vote against that particular bill. But I hope they're very successful.
And real quick before we go, let's talk about the tuition freeze in Iowa.
Yeah, that's one thing that we were also able to accomplish this year. That's important because the cost of education continues to increase around the country. And that really acts as a drag on the economy, not only in Iowa, but elsewhere, because a lot of people who are coming out of college delay purchasing a home, delay starting a family, because they're having to pay off student debt. So freezing the tuition this year was a good thing. We need to find other ways to make to make education more affordable to more people.
All right, Charles, thanks so much for your time today. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. This hour's news leader has been Iowa State Senator Charles Schneider from West Des Moines. Join us next time on MediaCom News Leaders.